that is the all about that is the thing that we have discussed about the tense auxiliaries. Now we have the modal auxiliaries. So modal auxiliaries are different from the tense auxiliaries. So in Urdu Hindi we have modal auxiliaries. So they express the possibilities, ability, obligation, necessity, completion, or permission. And they function as the secondary verb when we have the two, compound verb like V1 and V2. So the modal occurs on this position V2, like kha chuka, ho gaya. So these kind of auxiliaries, which are called modal auxiliaries. So that represent some possibilities, or ability, obligation, necessary, completion, and permission. So they actually function as the second verb, secondary verb, to modify the meaning of the main verb and providing the modal or attitudinal or functional interpretation rather than tense or aspect. So it actually modify the meaning of the sentence in terms of attitude and function, not for tense and aspect. So unlike the full verb, they are semantically dependent. They cannot occur independently and usually appear in compound verbs. So they are usually appear in compound verb construction with the main verbs infinitive or root forms. So like we are using like with the root form, and we using some model like big, kha, likh, likh chuka, this kind of sentence. And with infinitive, we are using like likhna, so we are using by likhne diya, this kind of sentence we have. These modal auxiliaries, they are not normally occurs independently, but they are occur in combination with the main verb. So they have function compound verb construction. So they are using to create the compound verb construction in a sentence. So they have different types of meaning that correspond the like knowledge based, like duty or necessary based, or the ability based modality we have in Urdu, Hindi Urdu. Like मुझे जाना होगा. The general, or we can say the structure of modal auxiliary. So in this sentence, we have mujhe in terms of dative, then we have the main verb or the root infinitive jana, then we have the modal auxiliary hoga. So here the jana is the infinitive of the main verb, and ho is the modal base expressing. So that is the modal verb ho. So it is expressing in hoga. So it's expressing the necessity, and hoga is the future auxiliary agreeing with the gender and number. So this is the combination of modal auxiliaries. So we have the list of common modal auxiliary like sakna, पाना, होना, देना, चुकना, चाहिए. This kind of model we have in Urdu Hindi. So we have the sakna verb. So it is the structure of this sakna verb. So it expresses the ability or possibility. So it combined with the root or the infinitive both. Like वो खा खा सका. So in this form, it is the root verb kha. But normally it is not used in a sentence, but it's only used in combination of or creating some compound verb. And it agrees with the subject in terms of gender and number. Means this is the auxiliary, means the modal verb which has so agreement with subject in terms of gender and number. So it reflects the dynamic modality, the subject's capacity to perform an action. Means according to the subject, when we have some change in the subject, so that change actually impact on the change in modal verb for the purpose of agreement. So that is the structure of this. Like we are using main verb either in terms of infinitive like khana, or in terms of root like. So khana is the infinitive of kha, and the root is kha. And after that we are using sakna, and sometimes we have also the tense auxiliary followed the modal auxiliary. So like मैं लिख सकता हूँ. So in this it is the subject, and लिख is the root verb, and sakna is the, or the sakta is the modal, and who is the auxiliary verb. वो गाना गा सकती है. So that is the ga main verb, sakna is the modal, and hai is the auxiliary. हम जा सकते हैं. So ja is the root verb, and sakna is the or sakte is the model and hai is the auxiliary. So the auxiliary sakna carries full agreement feature and express the potential or the physical capabilities. It cannot it can also denote the permission in certain contexts like tum ja sakte ho. So in this kind of sense we can use for the permission, that is the sakna. So that is the auxiliary. We can also say the model auxiliary instead of auxiliary because we have the auxiliary verbs after this sakna. We have pana, so it functions as the successful completion of an action after the effort, so emphasizing the achievement rather than general ability. So the structure for this verb, like main verb, then we have pana. So we have the example like वो भाग पाया, वो पहुंच पाई, हम सब कुछ समझ पाए. So unlike the sakna or pana, which implies the effortful success or achievement, it often co-occur with the perfective aspect to emphasize the completion. So when we are using this model with the perfective aspect, so it emphasis on the completion of the action, unlike the achievement or effortful success. And we have the another model auxiliary, which is the hona. So it explains the meaning of necessity, compulsion, or obligation. So it the subject appears in the dative case, like the for this purpose, like hona. So hona must in terms of hona, the subject must be some experience as subject. So when we have the experience as subject in Urdu Hindi, so it generally takes the dative case. So the function is subject with dative, infinitive of the main verb, and hona and with tense auxiliary. So hona is modal auxiliary, then we have tense auxiliary. Like मुझे जाना होगा. So मुझे is the dative subject. We can also using the मुझको जाना होगा and उसे पढ़ना पड़ेगा and हमें इंतजार करना होगा. This जाना this मुझे जाना होगा and ho is the model and karna hoga. So here ho is the model. So the ho plus the construction of future auxiliary convey the necessity ability. So this structure often explains the deontic, the both deontic, the should, and the epistemic, that the must be meaning depending on the context. So sometimes it denotes some we should do this, or sometimes there is a meaning of must be. हमें इंतजार करना होगा, उसे पढ़ना पड़ेगा, मुझे जाना होगा. So the meaning of must be and the should comes from the context. Like in this हमें जाना पड़ेगा, we must wait. हमें इंतजार करना होगा, we must wait. So that is the construction for this. So here we have the ho verb, like in hoga and padega we have pad, which is also the model auxiliaries. And the other model is dena. So it indicates the permission, causation, when effective sense. So it allows the means it is semantically related to the light verbs combined with infinitive and to express that the subject allows or causes another to perform the action. So in terms of causative verb. So we have the agent, which is nominative and infinitive main verbs, then which is followed by the ne form, and then with dena, then we have auxiliary. Like मैंने बच्चे को खेलने दिया. So here we have ne ending खेलने, uh, which is the modal verb. So actually this is the infinitive verb in infinitive form of the verb खेलना. So due to some combination with दिया, it occurs खेलने दिया. उस्ताद ने हमें बोलने दिया. And हम वालिद ने उसे बाहर जाने दिया. So here the खेलने, बोलने, जाने is the infinitive verb and diya is the modal verb. So diya is actually occur as a light verb that convey the permission or the benefaction or beneficiary action. And when used with the lena to take, so it can form the contrastive construction like कर देना, कर लेना, खा लेना, बोल देना, पी लेना, पी देना. So to do to someone or to do for the oneself. So dena for someone and lena for oneself. Another modal auxiliary we have chukna. So it function or it marks or it expresses the meaning of completion or finality of an action. So equivalent to have already done. It often occurs in the perfective aspect and showing that the action is fully accomplished. So the structure for this we have main verb and then we have chukna, then we have tense auxiliary like tha, thi, the. मैं खा चुका हूँ, वो आ चुकी है, वो काम कर चुकी है. So here we have या वो हम काम कर चुके हैं. So we have खा which is the root verb, then we have chuka which is the modal auxiliary, then we have the tense auxiliary. And a main verb with the root form of the main verb, and chuki is the modal and hai is the auxiliary. So chukna signals the completive aspect that can be the final accomplishment. And it often occurs with temporal adverbs like ab tak और पहले ही. वो अब तक जा चुका होगा, वो पहले ही निकल चुका है, वो पहले ही खा चुका है. This kind of construction we have by adding some temporal adverbs in the modal chukna. Modal auxiliaries, the last one is chahiye. So it function for to express the mild obligation or the advisability or the moral duty. So for some time for obligation, for some for advice of a moral duty also. So generally the subject occurs in the dative form like mujhko or mujhe, because we are using this चाहिए. So चाहिए need a dative subject. मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे वो चाहिए. I'm not saying मैं किताब चाहिए. We are saying मुझे किताब चाहिए. So there is no agreement in the चाहिए when we are using this tense, because the subject is always in the dative case. So in the dative case, the subject will not change. So that's why चाहिए will remain invariable. So that is why it does not agree with the subject. या मुझे जाना चाहिए, उसे पढ़ना चाहिए, मैं सच मुझे सच बोलना चाहिए, हमें सच बोलना चाहिए. So in this case, we have two conditions. So the chahiye does not agree with subject because we do not have the, in this case, we do not have the particular object, because there is some infinitival verbs jana, padna and bolna. So that is the infinitive verb. Then we have chahiye, which is a modal verb, and chahiye needs a dative subject, and dative subject does not agree with the object. So is an impersonal model. So it's lacking the agreement. So it expresses moral, social obligation, correspond, and should or ought to in English terms. So this kind of meaning it expresses. So for syntactic and semantic notes, the modal auxiliaries. So modal auxiliaries in Urdu-Hindi display the both syntactic variation in terms of case marking, agreement, word order, and semantic diversity in terms of ability, necessity, obligation, and completion. Like some of modal auxiliaries has the meaning of ability, and some has the meaning of necessity, some has the meaning of obligation, and some modal auxiliary has the meaning of completion. And syntactically, they have different types of case marking. With some model, we have a nominative subject. With some model, we have the dative subject. And in terms of agreement, if there is no dative subject, so the model agree with the subject. But when the model, due to some model, we have the ergative subject. So in this case, the model can agree with the object, and we have different types of word order. Depends on the use of syntactic in terms of negation for the focus. So unlike the tense auxiliary like hai, tha, and hoga, model occurs after the main verb and before the tense auxiliary, forming the compound verb phrase or the complex predicate that express the modality layered onto the aspect of the tense. So generally, the tense auxiliary occurs after the main verb, and this modal auxiliary occurs after the main verb, but before the tense auxiliary. So there is also the tense auxiliary. So like there is a three verb construction. One is main verb, then we have modal verb, then we have, or we can say the modal auxiliary, then we have tense auxiliary. So that becomes the compound verb phrase, or we can say complex predicate. So for agreement pattern, in Urdu Hindi, the most modal auxiliary shows agreement with the subject in gender and number, reflecting the syntactic alignment in the of the clause. However, such few the chahiye modal auxiliary, so it does not agree with the subject due to the subject is the dative subject, and dative subject does not agree with any verb or auxiliary. So like sakna, so it can it have the agreement like मैं लिख सकता हूँ, लड़की लिख सकती है, लड़के लिख सकते हैं. So this kind of agreement we have in sakna verb. So the a we are using लड़की लिख लड़का लिख सकता है, लड़की लिख सकती है, and लड़के लिख सकते हैं. So that is the different ending according to the agreement in terms of gender and number. सकता, सकती and सकते, and सकती also for the लड़कियां लिख सकती हैं. Okay, so it can be the लिख सकता, or it can be like लिख सकती, so that is e, and it can be लिख सकते, that is a, and it can be लिख सकती, लड़कियां लिख सकती हैं, is e for the agreement purpose. So the चाहिए is invariable, so it cannot agree with subject, and it do not reflect what person, number, gender, is because it have the fixed predicate that expressing the necessity and obligation. Like मुझे जाना चाहिए, मुझे पढ़ना चाहिए, मुझे खाना खा लेना चाहिए, मुझे रोटी पका लेना चाहिए. So this kind of sentences we have. So here may the चाहिए does not agree with the subject. So even when the subject changes, चाहिए remains constant. Like हमें जाना चाहिए, उसे आना चाहिए. So there is no agreement. With होना, so it has the agreement according to the tense, gender, and number agreement. So it occurs the future or the perfective tense. Like मुझे जाना होगा. If I'm saying that मुझे जाना होगा and मुझे रोटी खानी होगी, and मुझे खाना बनाना होगा. So that is the hoga has different types of agreement. So for case pattern, we have for the different types of case. So sometimes we have the dative case for the hoga, like मुझे जाना होगा. So this hoga verb take the dative subject because the subject is experiencer in this types of model. So in Urdu Hindi, the model triggers specific case marking on the subject depending on the semantic role. Like if the subject is experiencer, so it take the dative case like को marker, मुझको जाना होगा, मुझको खाना होगा. Variably we use मुझे जाना होगा और उसे जाना होगा instead of उसको जाना होगा. And we are also using the ergative for the when the subject is agent, and we are using the nominative case for the agentive subject. लाइक मैं खत लिख सकता हूँ, वो दौड़ चुका है. So here the is agent, but this agent does not mark by the ergative case. It marks by the nominative case because of because there are some issue that we have already discussed because the V2 is not transitive, which is not transitive because the V2 is intransitive. So that is why even though this the verb is in the perfective aspect, uh, but the V2 is not transitive. V2 is the intransitive verb, so that's why it does not take the ergative case. It takes the only nominative case. So for negation, so it has the function, so it occurs before the modal auxiliary and after the main verb, infinitive. So like मैं लिख नहीं सकता हूँ और मुझे जाना नहीं चाहिए, वो खत्म नहीं और कर पाया. So this kind of expression we are using in this negation also. So negative vocabulary or the negation appears before the modal auxiliary नहीं सकता and after the main verb लिख नहीं सकता, मैं लिख नहीं सकता. So नहीं negation occur after this main verb and before the modal auxiliary. And even though we have tense auxiliary also in this sentence, but मुझे जाना नहीं चाहिए, so in चाहिए we do not have the tense auxiliary, but it occurs before the modal and after the main verb. जाना. There is some mistake in this sentence. So in explanation, nahi precede the modal, not the main verb, when the possibility or the obligation is negated. So it actually have different types of focus or semantic scope while we are using the nahi. So like मैं लिख नहीं सकता हूँ and मैं नहीं लिख सकता हूँ. When we are using nahi before the main verb and modal, and we are using nahi after the main verb but before the model, so it has different types of semantic scope and different types of focus, and it gives the different types of meaning, and this difference in the meaning can only be understood through the context. So for semantic interpretation, it has different types of function like the dynamic, deontic, completive, or necessity. So sometimes it explains the compulsion. To explain the enforced action like उसे पढ़ना होगा. For aspectual वो आ चुका है. That is the meaning of the completion. Express the duty and necessity. So like obligation मुझे जाना चाहिए. Dynamic. So it explains the capacity of the potential. मैं लिख सकता हूँ. With the सकता, with चाहिए, with चुका, with होगा. So these models can combine with the tense auxiliary है, था and होगा to indicate the time reference, or with participle रहा, चुका to express the aspectual nuance. So that is the another function of the tense model auxiliaries. So I conclude here. Urdu Hindi auxiliary verbs form the complex system that helps express tense, aspect, and modality. Means auxiliary verbs are used with the main verb to make a complex system. Means we can see the complex predicate, so that express different types of tense, different types of aspect, different types of modality. So in tense auxiliary we have hai, tha, hoga, which indicate the time and agreement. When modal auxiliaries are sakna, pana, hona, dena, chukna chahiye. So it explains the meaning of possibility, ability, necessity, and completion. So together they make the Urdu Hindi verbal expression highly nuanced and contextually rich. So they are very rich in terms of modifying the meaning of the complex predicate or the verbal or the compound verbs. So it actually uh, uh, modify the meaning of whole verbal predicate. Like so, verbal predicate means that there is a main verb, there is a compound verb, or there is a modal auxiliary, there is a tense auxiliary. So that becomes the whole complex predicate. So it modifies the meaning of that complex predicate in Urdu Hindi. Thank you.